Welcome back to a new video. We got Brent Chernosky here, owner of OPM Organic Paid Marketing. Let's go ahead and rip it from the beginning. What made you start OPM?
I guess. Well, I was at another company for about 4 years or 3.5, 4 years, and really liked it a lot. Like we were able to build it up to pretty good amount of clients, auto industry, restaurants. We were working with Browns players, doing partnerships and stuff like that. But for me, um, I kind of just wanted to have something for myself and just focus on a specific niche. And so September of last year, decided to go off on my own and for right now, just with the way it's going, I'm just kind of sticking to specific to the car dealerships. Um, I've gotten pretty good at, making the videos for the cars and running the ads and stuff like that. So for me, I just kind of wanted to have a smaller base of clients and just be able to um, do the best work that I could for them. And right now it's been working out.
Yeah.
So
What made you want to go directly to cars? I know you were probably doing other
I
industries.
thought, for me, honestly, ever since I was a young kid, I always really loved cars. Me and my grandpa. The story behind it, I guess, is that he had a 1960 something Thunderbird, and he gave me a model car for it. So we were always talking about cars growing up. Um, but I kind of just got good at making the videos for the dealerships, really. And the clients that I had were mostly I guess, auto based, I guess. So branching off of my own, kind of realized that the car dealers, they needed it. And they tried, a lot of the people that I had talked to, GMs and owners and stuff, they tried to hire people in-house to do it, but people weren't staying up to date with social media and the trends and stuff like that. So really, there was just a need for it. And, bringing in somebody like me, a company, like an outside company, um, the car dealers, they needed it. So
Yeah, you filled that gap for them.
yeah.
Why do you think that in-house didn't work for them? And maybe
Um, Well, I won't say the name, but like one of my clients right now, they hired somebody full time to do it. And this was an auto group that had, I think, like 8 locations throughout. There's PA and Ohio. So just hiring one person to handle a whole auto group, it's too difficult for them. Like they really need um, a team to be able to do it. So she was doing a good job, but really
it's just a lot of work for
it's
one
a lot
person.
of work. It takes a whole team to be able to do it. You know.
How many people do you think it takes to, like, let's say Auto Group goes from one location, now they're doing 3 or 5 locations. How many people do you think can you allocate towards having that much?
Um, 5 locations, I'd say you need a team of maybe 3 or 4 people that are able to actually efficiently manage it.
Would you say it's almost like a full-time job per location almost?
It's not really necessarily a full-time job, but it's a full team job, I guess.
Yeah, because I
It
feel
is
like
a
a lot of
full-time
people
job, but it takes
underestimate
a
it.
team.
I feel like a lot of people underestimate the fact that a post needs to go up every day, and that post needs to be thought out. It needs to
Mhm.
be scripted. It needs to be shot. It needs to be edited, and then it actually needs to be posted.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, dude, you're coming here with so and so. Let's say you're coming here with a camera. You're coming here with an iPhone. Just take a picture and forget about it.
Mhm.
But when you need, let's say you have 2 locations even, and you need a post almost every day, that's 60 posts in a month.
Yeah.
Go ahead and think of 60 captions in a matter of, a couple of weeks. That's really, really tough. What do you think is the hardest part about running some social media accounts?
I think, like, the hardest part with it is probably that for the auto industry, you have, a lot of times, like, you've seen, like, a lot of the car commercials and stuff like that.
Yeah,
They're very outdated. Like
old school ones.
there's an old school guy. Like there's a guy that's coming on the camera. Like usually,
Like,
they'll have like
there's like a nice
yeah,
head blonde lady just screaming at the camera sometimes.
and
Just like, there's just like some middle aged women telling you to buy a car. That
yeah,
I feel like, how often will that work, especially on this next generation that A has money now? Because maybe in the past, maybe the younger generations didn't make as much money as they do now with social media being a trend. A lot
yeah.
of people our age or even younger, 16 and up now can't afford to get their own car. And how do you touch that market?
Well, I think honestly, that's what I've been telling a lot of the guys in the dealership, the guys and girls in the dealership is like, especially with our generation, we've grown up looking at social media like Instagram, Facebook, Facebook not as much, I would say, but Instagram, TikTok now, Snapchat, like our attention spans have gone from being super high to now being super low because you have reels and stuff like that. So people want to be entertained by something. And I think that is what I try to do when I'm managing, any account is to have entertaining content that people actually want to see and watch. And they're going to say, you know, here's the thing too, like downtown at the Guardian Stadium, you have progressive field. Like if you have progressive field, you have progressive signs, you have progressive commercials, and people see it enough times, they're gonna associate that and they're gonna go. Like for me, when I got car insurance, I went and bought progressive just because I've heard it so much. So that's kind of what you try to do with social media. You want to have entertaining content that people want to see. And obviously, there's the name and the account so people can see where it's coming from. So hopefully you can get people to see that enough where, for example, one of my clients, Serpentini, Chevy, let's say they see Serpentini come up enough on their feed when they want to buy a new Chevy. Hopefully they've seen enough where they're going to go, oh, let's go to Serpentini.
I like that. No, that's not like a direct like that's not like a in your face come buy my car. What you're trying to tell people is to actually just entertain them, and then when it comes time to buy that car, they'll remember you from being entertained rather than a
Yeah.
hard sell. Every single time you post a photo of a car, you're like, "Hey, this one costs 29.99 or whatever it is as far as for
Mhm.
pricing for a car."
And here's the thing too, like I think that this is why another reason why I decided that I really want to stick to the car industry because I think car specific and sales in general has a really bad stigma behind it. So, people are like, they make jokes about like the car salesman type of thing. They don't want to be sold by the car salesman. So what we try to do is try to break that gap and, just post entertaining content out there. Like, for example, I took a couple of videos, just like testimonials from some of the sales reps at Serpentini, and people were actually coming in and asking me for those people specifically because they've seen them on the social media and it's organic, authentic content. Like it's funny videos and, we're picking trends and replicating it. And it's funny videos that people are watching and then realize that they're actual real people. They're not just a sales rep. They're an actual real person. They have a sense of humor and
Yeah. It's interesting you say that. And it's almost like you're bridging that gap of trust to that car salesman rather than when someone comes in to speak to a sales rep, they almost like shy away, like, "Hey, just let me look at the car before I talk to anyone.
yeah.
Before you start taking my credit card information, relax, let me look around." But now they're actually doing the opposite of actually, "Hey, I seen you on social. Let me talk to this guy because I almost trust him now. I've seen him
Mhm.
before." That's an interesting way to look at it.
Uh, Another thing too, just going back to the thing that I was saying that I didn't really, I was asking how honest you wanted me to be, because the problem is with a lot of these car dealers is like they've done things a certain way for so long. Like you have, in my opinion, the boring commercials out there. They have like in like big lettering on the screen with yellow text in the back that says like $350 off a Ram 1500 or something like that. And then there's a person on the screen that like slowly comes up and they're yelling at you. So like these car dealers have done things a certain way for so long. And so when I come in and I'm trying to tell them my strategy, like we're gonna post this amount of times, it kind of like I get sometimes a little bit of pushback. Like I just had it recently where, for example, social media is always constantly changing and certain things worked a while back, like posting, every single day, multiple times a day. That worked in the past, but like social media is always constantly changing. And if you look at some of the articles about Instagram, for example, they're changing their algorithm to optimize actually less posting but higher quality. So 3 to 5 times a week is like kind of the standard. I come in, I tell the dealership, hey, this is what we should start doing. But if you stay stuck in the past, like it's actually going to hurt your account. So that's the other thing. Like if they have a sales rep, for example, come in and start posting the content, or to hire somebody that's not an expert, it's actually going to hurt you more than it's going to benefit you.
And how
'Cause
would you deal with someone that is maybe telling you to do something that's maybe outdated that you don't believe in anymore or that
I
used to
think
that doesn't now?
I think I've gotten a little bit better because sometimes you have to stand in like for like you are the expert coming in. Like this is what I do for a living. And I'm constantly researching stuff. And I have a team of people. Like I do have people that are researching stuff even more than me.
Mhm.
So you have to come in and tell them, "Hey, you're paying me to come and do this. I am the expert." Like you might have a different opinion, but just asking that you trust me on this, because at the end of the day, like, if I let them do, they can do whatever they want because it's their business. I'm coming in and I'm not trying to tell them something that is going to hurt them, because if they have bad numbers on the account, that's going to affect me and they're probably going to fire me. So
Yeah.
I'm always going to want to come in and give them new ideas, stay up to date, and hopefully they trust me, I guess.
Yeah. You mentioned numbers. How do you measure success from your clients?
I think followers are good. I think followers were kind of a thing from the past a little bit. A lot of times people would say, like, we want to have a certain amount of followers, and followers are great, obviously. I just had an account that I started less than 6 months ago that is almost halfway to 10K now. And that's great. But like, from what I measure success by is the account growing on a monthly basis as far as viewers and stuff like that. And Instagram or any social media platform says like you're doing a good job if you're getting anything organically over 20,000 views a month, which across the board, especially for TikTok right now, I'm doing that every single month. So that's success for me. Anything over that is better, you know.
Going to maybe a client who's been posting consistently and maybe doesn't see success, maybe not through followers but views. Let's say they're only getting a few hundred views per video.
Mm.
How would you encourage that client and tell them that, hey, social media, well, actually, well, in your own words, explain how that could still be successful even though they're getting a few hundred views.
Well, I think like, for example, like let's say you only had a few hundred views. Let's say we were sitting in this room that we're at right now, and let's say you had 300 people that were in this room. The room would be packed.
Oh yeah, show
You
and
know what I
tell.
mean? So like, yes, it's 300 views, and you want to aim for more because social media you can get more, but over time, you keep consistently posting. It's a slow, not a slow growth, but it's a gradual growth that you just have to trust. Stay consistent with the plan because social media rewards consistency. But if you had 300 people in this room right now, it's a lot of people.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
at the end of the day.
Let's take it back a little bit. Let's say we're talking to 16-year-old Brent. What did you think you were going to be doing with your life?
I want to be a doctor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now you're a social media doctor.
I think like, well, first off, I don't know why I ever said I wanted to be a doctor.
Was there someone in your family or something, or
No, I think
you
I
you
think
were-
I
you were
wanted,
researching how much they get paid?
no, I mean, obviously, well, yeah, but that, and also like you have hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
kind of sucks. But I think that I wanted to help people. And I thought that, being a doctor was the best way that I could help people.
yeah,
But what I realized over time too, was that even just being a business owner, you can help people. You can treat people fairly, people that are working for you and with you, and you can treat your clients fairly too. And
yeah.
I feel like I'm helping now.
I think it ties into faith. Rather than thinking that like, hey, I have to drop everything, become a missionary, and
Mhm.
fly to wherever in the world and serve. You can serve right here in your job currently. You can serve your clients the way that we're supposed to in our faith, which is you don't necessarily have to become a doctor and do everything for free. You
Yeah.
can you can still get paid for what you do and do what you love as well as treat your clients with great respect. And I think that's in a way of serving
Mhm.
itself.
There's also the verse too that like, it says like, I don't know the exact verse, but like everything you do unto the Lord, like basically like working. You're not working for other people, but you're working for the Lord. I think that like, if you're just gonna go and collect a check from a business, like that's also that business is hard earned money at the end of the day too. If I'm gonna take advantage of that and just be constantly chasing the next check or from another business without actually caring about them, if you have faith like we do, like I don't think that God is really gonna like that because you're just chasing money.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes sense.
no, it does. I agree with that. You definitely shouldn't be in it only for the money. While the money is great, and I'm sure anybody that owns a business knows that any business could make money, but how can you impact people outside of just
Mhm.
money? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I've been really like I've been really, because the message at church this past weekend too
Yeah.
was about like evangelizing, and I've been trying to get better at that, like just talking about my faith with people at work. But it's hard when you have, especially like if you have a client, it's like you kind of struggle with a little bit of that, like
Yeah.
Like, what are
How
they
do
going to
you
think?
how do you go about, talking faith while you're shooting or whatever with someone? Do you,
I think I could definitely do it a lot more, but I think just asking people questions about themselves. Like I was just at an event last night. It was a all white event at the Natural History Museum, and it was a guy that works for a dealership, a sales guy. Just started asking him questions and stuff, and we got into talking about his faith and how he's been sober for 7 years now. So like, I think just asking people questions and getting to know them, I guess.
yeah, I think people are more than willing to tell you as long as you're ready to listen. A lot of people are ready to talk. A lot of people think that it's really scary to approach people, but once you get someone going,
People
it's
want
yeah.
people want to talk about themselves.
Well, people need community. That's my thing. I think people need to like relate to someone, have someone listen to them because if you're in your own head all the time, I mean, it's a scary place to be. You got to get it out somewhere somehow.
Yep.
All right, moving forward, let's see. 18-year-old Brent, ready to go to college. Where were you going? What was your thoughts? You said doctor when you were about 16.
Yeah.
Where were you at 18?
Um. So, well, I played Division 1 lacrosse. I got a scholarship to play Division 1 lacrosse at small school in Louisville, Bellarmine University. Um. But I think like my whole life, I mean, I had no clue. Like
Well, did you go?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
But like that's a long story.
I mean, dude, if you're willing.
So I get a scholarship. There was 18 people in the class to go on and play in college at Bellarmine. So 18 people get, I don't know if you call it drafted or like you
You get the scholarship.
signed,
Yeah, you
whatever.
get the scholarship.
Yeah.
You get a full
So
ride
two,
or
no, it was just, they were a small school
mm,
for that sport. Like every other sport there was D2.
yeah, but significant enough to go and
Yeah. I mean, there was still, I would still had debt.
mhm.
It wasn't full scholarship, but I was one of two people in the class that got the scholarship. Way too much free time in my hands in college. I wasn't really used to it. So, I mean, even in high school though, too, I mean, I had a really good GPA. I was a good student in high school, but I got to college, had the free time, and you're in the off season technically when you first get to college. So like you have the free time, and I was going out and partying and stuff, and not really doing what I should have been doing. Um, and I
I
mean,
mean, that's like a normal
yeah,
college life, so
but not for an athlete, really.
not for yeah.
But anyway, um, so I meet a girl while I'm in college. She was friends with somebody on the team, basically. So I'm like completely just kind of, I'm not going to class. I'm not studying for anything. I'm not doing my work. And I basically failed out my first year of college. I was ineligible. So I lost my scholarship, and then, um, was dating this girl at the time too, which my family didn't really like her at all. So basically, I'm ineligible. I'm not really liking playing on the team because the coaching staff, there was all these things going on. And actually, after I quit, so I quit that first year. After I quit, the whole coaching staff gets fired. So it just wasn't a great environment at all, and not a great team and stuff. But basically, so I failed out of everything. I had to go back home and tell my family, hey, I failed out, lost my scholarship and all this stuff. And obviously they weren't really very happy about all that. And
How's that process? Like, what do you mean you failed out? You
like
just
I had
go
like
home the next day?
I had,
Just out?
no, I mean, I didn't necessarily, it's not like I was like going to get kicked out,
I see.
but I had to go home and tell my family, like I lost my scholarship, and,
Yeah.
which, and at the
How
time,
did they take that?
well, obviously not very happy at all. But like I'm dating this girl at the time too. So, and my family wasn't really too fond of her, I guess. And so on top of that, I'm dating this girl and failing out of college, and I'm arguing with my family and stuff like that. And
You
so
had like a crossroads in you.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. Like I'd never really been at that point, was a good student, and whatever. But so I decided I'm going to take these two summer classes, which was the same class I had taken that previous year, because I was going to like try to make up for it and get good grades at them. So I'm arguing with my family and stuff, going to summer classes. I had everything packed in my dad's car to go off and do the summer classes. So we're arguing and stuff, and I'm, a young kid just being stupid. 3 a.m., I unpacked everything out of my dad's car, put it in my car, and left. And then I didn't talk to anybody in my family for like 3 years. And I'm dating this girl and stuff, and I actually did those classes and actually got a 4.0. and, my family's trying to reach out to me and stuff, and I'm shutting everybody out. Got a new phone number and stuff, and shutting everybody out. And so after I finished those summer classes, I moved out to New Jersey because that's where she was from. And like her family was, they were her dad was a drug addict living at the grandparents' house. Mom was in and out of rehab and jail and stuff. So I was like, I kind of, in a sense, like wanted to help this girl out, kind of thing. So I moved out to New Jersey, and I'm there for 3 years. We're dating and stuff. It wasn't a great relationship. She would like make fun of my parents for talking about God
Mhm.
and stuff. So, um, I move out there, same thing. Parents were trying to reach out to me. It shut everybody out. But then eventually got to a certain point where, um, she cheated on me, and I'm sitting there because it was during COVID. And I'm sitting there in New Jersey
Alone.
alone. I'm sitting there in the basement, and like she's out partying and stuff. And I'm sitting there alone in the basement. I didn't really have much friends out there or anything. So I'm sitting in her grandparents' basement at the time, and I'm like, I had nobody to call, so I called my parents, and then basically ended up moving back and went to church with them, and I heard, I think it's uh, Romans 8:12 or Romans 12:12 or something. I don't know I should probably know the exact verse, but was about God transforming your mind and changing the way you think. Heard that at church and worship and stuff, started crying, and then like that point on was like when I got saved. So like I had all this stuff going on, and then God God allowed me to get beat down to a certain point to realize that I needed him. And then I grew up Catholic, but like never heard that verse before. And I heard that and just
This was at a
did
Catholic
something.
church?
No, this is at Grace Church in
Oh,
Bedford.
so your parents are no longer Catholic. They took you to
They took
Grace.
Yeah, yeah. So like I heard that verse and then
Wow.
basically got saved there.
I think there's a quote saying that, I think maybe you even told me this, that God is the rock at the rock bottom.
I didn't tell you that, but it's pretty good though.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy how at the end of the day, every time you fall, you end up back in his arms in a weird rock bottom way. You know what I'm saying? You're just like right back to where you started.
Yeah.
But and now on a firm foundation, which is a crazy one. Whew, that was deep, man. You got me feeling. I never heard the story. I'm
So I
shocked.
told you that.
I think maybe you told me like little brief summary of some stuff. And every male has that period of life where they're at that crossroad of like, hey, either I'm gonna continue this way of life and never come back and find that faith, or you fall so hard that you're ready to be like, dude, where did I get to? You know what I'm saying? And I can only imagine just sitting there in New Jersey, how you were describing. I have a similar story that I'm definitely not going to get into, but it's crazy stuff that I feel like every guy that I talk to, especially every guy that eventually ends up back in God's arms, I feel like they all have that. Hey, there was this girl. She wasn't a very nice girl. You know what I'm saying? And then you actually make it back, which is a crazy one.
Yep.
Um, all right, let's make a little transition back to the social media marketing. What is your title? What do you call yourself when people introduce you? Hey, my name is Brent, and
Um, I
I'm
don't
here to help
think I've ever like done that, I guess. But I mean I founded the company, I guess. It's only been a year, but I guess founder. I don't really like introduce myself like that, I guess.
Yeah. So, like, if you were sitting in the back of an Uber, how would you answer?
I would just say I started a marketing company, I guess. Social media marketing company.
Hmm. Now, going back to the social media marketing, I know a little bit about your story, but tell the people, where did you learn how to do all this social media stuff?
Well, honestly, that's kind of like a little bit. So when I was in New Jersey, I got an internship. I was like working at restaurants and stuff. I got my real estate license. So I got an internship with there's a show on Netflix called $1 Million Beach House. And there was a broker, Jimmy Giuliano. He was on this company called Nest Seekers. And I was watching the show on Netflix. And then I saw on Facebook that he was hiring interns. So I went out there and I got an internship out there. So I was driving from Central Jersey to the Hamptons in the summer of like I think it was like 2020. So it was during COVID. So it was a marketing internship. and was going out there, but he was it was during COVID, so like people from New York City were moving out to the Hamptons. So he was super busy, didn't really have much of a he wasn't really able to work with us very much. So I kind of got a little bit of experience in marketing doing that. We were helping him with his social, and we were doing like cold calls and stuff for rentals out there. But so I was like kind of like blogging the trip and the internship a little bit and like doing videos of the Hamptons and stuff. And then I kind of got like a little bit into cooking at that time because I was living on my own. So I was like taking like photos and videos of like the cooking and stuff. But when I moved back, I originally wanted to do real estate, and actually have my license still right now. I haven't really done anything with it, but so I reached out to the company that to these guys that I knew through mutual friends. So that was they had started the company that I was at before, and it was kind of like in the groundworks of just starting it at that point. And originally, I was like wanted them to help me with promoting myself for real estate, and basically kind of just liked what they were doing, and I was already kind of passionate about it. Like I was making the videos while I was in New Jersey, and I was kind of a little bit good at it at that point, but got a little bit better over time. But they were doing the social media thing, and um, they had been doing it for like a year, so they kind of showed me a little bit of that stuff. But really, I mean, I kind of just learned on my own from researching, watching videos, and that whole thing. But um, it's just kind of interesting. Like before I even started that stuff, I was just kind of passionate about making videos of like traveling and cooking and stuff.
Let's go into how you got your first client in the social media space. Because as you said, you went off on your own and you started your own company. I'm sure there was a period of time where you were searching for clients. How did that transition go for you?
First, when I started the other company, I was a contractor, so I didn't make any money for like 6 months, and
What were you doing for them?
it was a lot of just sales in the beginning, trying to get clients, and then do them on my own. But I was kind of like learning what they were doing a little bit and stuff. Um, but it was just a lot of cold calls and walking into places. And I think the first client that I got was probably a LinkedIn DM. Honestly, LinkedIn was, and I think still even now, like you have a lot of business owners and people that they spend a lot of their time on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
So
before you go too far, do you recommend even like your clients use LinkedIn or no? Or you don't recommend
I
that?
think
Because I know you're a
LinkedIn
big
is
LinkedIn guy, but
no, I think LinkedIn is more
founders.
not like founders and business owners, and like if you're looking for a job, you do that. But I think if you want to be seen by like a consumer for a business, it's more. I don't think LinkedIn's the way to go for that.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go back to the previous topic. Where were we? I really want to touch on LinkedIn because I noticed you use it yourself, but
I mean, starting out, I didn't really have a website, so I was just putting a lot of my work on LinkedIn. Um, because it was different stuff. Like I didn't know about like the name. I was gonna maybe potentially change the name, so I was just kind of posting stuff on LinkedIn until I
mhm.
got all that figured out, and then was gonna probably do more website stuff.
Let's say there's someone listening that is interested in starting their own social media marketing and they live in Utah. What kind of recommendations do you have for them?
Um,
How do you get started?
I would say probably just look into what successful people are doing on social media currently. Like start researching different like people that have 10K and up followers on social media. Like start looking at what they're doing. Start looking at what other accounts like if there's let's use what I'm doing. If there's a car dealership that you really like, start looking at what they're posting, what they're doing, and start researching, watch YouTube videos, and then maybe even get with a company that's already doing it and learn a little bit, and then maybe go off on your own. But I think there's a lot of learning because it's always constantly changing. Um, do that for a little bit, but it's a grind because you'll probably not be making much money when you first start for a little while at all. But that's usually what I feel like it is with most businesses when they start. But I
Yeah,
think it
how long did it take you to actually start making money?
probably about like a year, really. Yeah, I think my first year before tax, I made like $20,000 before tax, which
After
that's even
tax,
actually pretty
after
good.
tax 20 didn't
After
do
tax,
it.
no, I think I still pay a little bit in taxes.
Yeah.
But, like, I think, I mean, that's even probably pretty good for starting out. Usually people are, like, in the negatives.
Oh, for sure. But the one thing about starting this business and comparing it to any other business that you want to start, whether it's service based or whatever it is, this one is really like has a very low cost of entry,
Mhm.
like a very small barrier.
Yeah. I mean, the only cost for me would be really, like, the software,
Yeah.
like you.
Well, I mean, everyone has an iPhone, so I mean,
Yeah,
how do you like? Let's go into how do you make content?
for me, I mean, just depends, like, I mean, we did a couple videos together, like, the more high-end stuff where, I mean, I don't have, the abilities and the equipment to be, producing, like, I'd say, like, social media commercial type thing that you're doing. But for me, the content that I'm doing is, it's all on my iPhone. But the thing is, like, people think, "Oh, I can do it on my iPhone." Like, I think it still takes a good skill to be able to do it.
Oh yeah, it's
So if
definitely
people
something you
try
need
to
to
do it,
practice.
it's shaky, it's this and that, like,
It's uncomfortable. You got to know how to
the
get
angles and stuff too.
attention spans, everything. You need to know how a video transitioned into another video, stuff like
Uh-huh.
that. That if you're a brand new iPhone filmmaker, it's not just going to come naturally to you.
No.
It's something that you're going to take weeks, if not months, to learn.
Yeah,
Eventually, you'll get it.
if not a year or more,
Yeah,
you
but
know?
eventually, I do think that anyone could really pick up what we're doing. Even camera work. I mean, it does seem a little bit more complicated than the iPhone stuff a little bit, but I mean, dude, you can learn how to use a camera in a few weeks, in my opinion.
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
you're not gonna be the greatest camera filmmaker, but you'll
yeah.
be up and running.
I mean, anybody can necessarily do anything if they put their mind to it, I guess, like, I can go back to school and be a doctor
Yeah,
if I really wanted to,
yeah.
you know? But that's the other cost is, like, I'm always getting the new iPhone, just because the cameras are always getting better and stuff, and, like, I got a filter for my iPhone now too, a stabilizer.
Mhm.
So, I mean, there's that cost too.
Yeah. What let's say you're living in a perfect world and you have an unlimited budget and you're running the dealership that you're running now. Let's say you're the
Owner?
let's say you're the owner and you have unlimited resources and unlimited budget. What are you posting on social media and how often?
Um,
And I don't mean unlimited budget on like having like Guy Ritchie come in and do an action movie scene and the thing, but I'm talking about like more realistic. Like if let's say someone's listening and has the knowledge on how to use a camera on their iPhone or even a real camera, what do you recommend they do without having to hire out?
I mean, they're just starting, like, they have no following at all.
I don't know if it's no follow. I think it's just let's say in a
What are they
perfect world, what are you
Yeah.
posting?
Um, Organic content so that people wanna see, like, I would be trying to think of new trends or replicate certain trends with a twist on it. Um, Funny content that people wanna see, but also, like, some of the high quality stuff, like, let's say it's a really cool truck or a new car or something, I would have, somebody come in that's really good with their camera and almost do, like, a little commercial style video like that you would see, but, you know, um, the other thing too, I think, would be collaborating with local businesses, which I do a lot of, um, because you can do collab posts on Instagram, so it's like cross marketing.
I mean, I think you can give them some free game even right now. You can if you make a video for a local business and then just invite them to collab, more times than not, they don't have a pervasive content coming up today,
They're
and
gonna
they're just
they're
gonna
gonna
accept it.
Yeah, I've done that a lot actually, and then
Yeah, how much more reach do you get when you collab with someone that's well known in your area?
a lot. I mean, even not even just well known in the area, like the one video that we did for Roush,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
that
Roush
was
dealer
that
in
wasn't really
Akron.
scheduled.
It wasn't scheduled, but it was a good enough video that I messaged them a bunch of times to, make sure they saw it, and they accepted it. So, like, it shows up on that company, that like actual the Roush Performance, their Instagram.
Yeah,
The other thing is too, like, I mean, there's accounts like, for example, Cleveland Vibes. They have 250,000 followers, all local people that want to see Cleveland stuff. Like, I just set up a collaboration with Montrose dealership with them, and obviously you have to pay them, and they actually charge a lot to do one video. But, like, collaborating with people like that, it helps out a lot. I think especially you have to be a little more creative, I think, with the car industry, but restaurants, like, restaurants opening up, doing a collaboration with them. I mean, they're
Yeah.
packed. Like the Cafe Blanc, you guys did one with them, right?
Dude, the cafe does so well on social media. It's almost like you
They
have
just
to come
wanted
and
to do
film
it.
it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to come and film
I
it.
mean, I think like if they don't want it, I mean, they're charging. And I actually got them down. I think for this one, they're charging like 1,000 for just
Wow.
one post.
No way.
But the dealership luckily will pay for that. I don't have to pay for that, but I set it up.
That's huge. I'm pretty sure I talked to him from Cleveland. Man, and this was probably a little while ago. That's
I
why.
think he charges more now, even more than Cleveland Vibes.
Really? Because back in the day, it was like 500 per post.
Yeah, that's what it was for Cleveland Vibes too, like 750. And now they charge. I think they start at 1,500,
Yikes.
which they could. And I'm actually making the video, so some people they said they even charge
Now,
like
I'm not saying it's
4,000.
not worth it, but man, one post, $1,500. You're
Yeah,
in the wrong business, buddy. I mean, we're doing social media. We gotta create
yeah.
pages as far as that because, I mean, I kind of already tried starting that. I'm probably going to try to continue, but
They just have
I
a
think
good
also
following already.
this podcast, same thing. I think I'm going to use it to interview business owners in
Understood.
the area. I
Yeah.
think that's the whole point of, you know, what's going on in CLE. That's the page name. So if you're
Have you posted any of the podcasts on it yet, or not?
not on the podcast yet,
Who have you done?
just one personal trainer, one guy.
Really?
You're my second pod. Yeah,
Oh, really?
I was a lot worse this morning. What's one thing that social media managers are getting wrong?
Getting wrong?
Yeah, what do you see?
Um,
Like, man, I wouldn't do that.
I would say for somebody that doesn't see their, I mean, I've done this. Somebody that doesn't see their value,
Yeah, I was actually gonna.
and
If you could,
you know what I
explain, I
mean?
was gonna think of that.
Because like somebody that doesn't see their value under being underpaid, because like
You're stretching yourself so much. It's a lot of work.
yeah, it's a lot of work. You're stretching yourself too thin. And the other thing on it too is like they go to hire somebody in house, they have to pay them a salary, they have to pay them probably benefits, company car potentially. They're a full on employee where we come in as a social media manager, and that's a tax write off for them.
Yeah.
And it's a very good premium service. They don't just get one person; they get the whole team.
Yeah. What do you think that salary is looking like for them?
I mean,
If they were like, oh, let me just pay the salary.
depends on how many dealerships. If it's a group, I mean, over 6 figures probably to actually hire somebody good.
Compared to what's your, let's say, your base price.
Um, Base price 2,500 a month,
Yeah. And what is that, like 30K?
30,000 a year.
30K a year or 100K a year? I mean,
Yeah,
where are we at here? You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And if it's, I mean, that's like per dealership. But if it's multiple, I'll probably give them a little bit of a discount. But still, I mean, that's a write off because, and also they get marketing dollars from, the
Mm-hmm.
manufacturer. So they could put that into there, I think. But like, I think that's the biggest thing that mistake that people make is like they're trying to get clients. Like I've done it myself. You try to get clients, and they're trying to get car dealers are trying to get a deal out of you. That's just nature of the game for them, which is fine. Everybody wants a deal, but just being underpaid and being able to not be firm on your price and your value, and being willing to walk away.
Was that ever happening to you before?
I mean, I've done it. Yeah. I mean, because
How'd you get out of it? What do you recommend for a person that's in it right now?
I mean, I think that you have to get clients that see your value and are letting you kind of just like tell them what they need to do in order to be successful. And it's not like you have to listen to me, but like you're the expert. You charge your fee, and that's it. Maybe there's a little bit of wiggle room, but not like a ton. You can work with people and hopefully build that relationship with them where they trust you enough. But um, I think like you just have to be willing to walk away. And if you're in that situation now, you might have to get to a point where you get more clients and then you tell them, hey, listen, like this is what I charge. I really need to be able to do the proper work for you. I really need to get this price, and then be willing to walk away from that deal
You almost
and cut the
outgrow
relationship. It has to be a two-way street. It has to be like,
to
in my
value
opinion,
you as much as you value them.
yeah, because it's not, there's going to be like some friction in the relationship because you're not happy because you're not getting paid for what you're worth. And you're spending a lot of time, potentially even losing money yourself on that deal because of the travel and the equipment and just what it takes to do it. And so you're not happy. It's just not a good like business relationship.
Yeah.
You know?
Being undervalued is definitely definitely a more common social media manager trend recently because a lot of people are really, really desperate to get out of their 9 to 5s and they want to do the social media thing, and then they think that undercutting is the way to go when it's just shooting everybody in the foot. Nobody wins when you undercut.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
you might, let's say you're charging, you said 2,500. Let's say I go to the same guy and I'm like, dude, I'll do this for 2,500 bucks off. You might not think that's much. Then you go back to him and you're like, dude,
yeah.
whatever, bro. I'll give you a discount, 1,800. How far can we go till one of us runs out of business?
Yeah. I think if you are a social media manager, like just there's so many businesses out there. Like, why are you going after ones that people already have? They're doing a good job. That's the first thing.
Do you think Cleveland's a good market for us?
I think it is a good market. Like Cleveland is definitely, I mean, for one, there's apartments like we were just driving the other day. There's apartments going up downtown all the time that probably need marketing. But I was talking to a guy who moved out to Chicago, and people just see the value in social media so much more there, and they're willing to pay more and get a better service, get better quality work because they have more of a budget, more of a room to work with the client. But the other thing I was going to say too is like, why are these businesses cheaping out on social media? Because like in all reality, who's watching commercials now? Like, how are they actually getting their name out there? Nobody's watching commercials. People pay for Netflix and Amazon Prime, they pay for it to not have commercials.
Yeah,
So how are you reaching people? Why would you be cheaping out on your marketing budget? You're just going to be behind what other people are actually spending money on.
that's true. Because if you're spending money to not see those commercials, what kind of customer are you really getting then? You're getting that person that maybe can't afford
You-
to
you-
give those
You're gonna get
commercials.
you're gonna get okay, so if you want to if a business wants to cut out on the marketing budget, you're probably gonna get customers that are coming in and they're gonna be asking for the same thing. Hey, give me a $10,000 discount on this F-150.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. What's your most unpopular opinion about video in 2025?
unpopular opinion.
Unpopular. Let's say something that's very controversial.
iPhone videos perform better than camera videos.
That has been a trend, which
Yeah.
I'm not happy about because obviously I shoot on camera. Now I do some iPhone stuff too,
But
but
it's not always the case though.
yeah, obviously. But as far as like day to day social media, all you need is your iPhone.
Mhm.
I mean, dude, there's no excuse for you to get up and going on your social media without, like, if you have an iPhone, you have no excuse not to be posting. You have a 4K camera. All you have
Yeah.
to do is get a little tripod, talk to it. The biggest thing, I think, one thing that you mentioned earlier was how to start posting on social media. One thing I think you missed was get in front of the camera because you can post your product all the time, but I think that camera needs to go this way and flip it to who you are, because that's when you start building that brand and you start building that trust with your customer.
Mhm.
Because if people don't see your face, you are just another logo to them.
Yeah. But I don't think that somebody should I think that's true, but I don't think that somebody should just say, "Okay, I have an iPhone, now I can go and start making social media content for my business," because social media is gonna be like, you're showcasing your business. Like, you can't just say, "Okay, I have an iPhone," like we were talking about earlier. You can't just say, "Oh, I have an iPhone, and now I'm gonna go and become popular on social."
Agreed. Because
Like
if you show cheap video, you look cheap.
Mhm.
If you're not a premium product, you look cheap.
Yeah.
And
So,
that's it. All goes back to how you portray yourself on social.
just have somebody else come in that knows what they're doing, because it takes a lot of time.
Yeah. And another reason you maybe shouldn't just start posting your own videos, which I think, hold up, there's two sides of this coin. You should start posting your own videos and you should get good at it and then start posting your videos. But the problem is a lot of people start posting, are maybe bad at it or get busy because they start getting good at it. And then boom, that's the first thing off the chopping block because you're busy.
Yeah.
And when you're busy, you don't do social media. Then you get
Well,
bored again, you
yeah.
go back to social media, and then that cycle continues. But if you had a system in place where that social was going all the time, busy or not, you're getting clients completely coming in all the time.
Well, that's why I think as a business owner, like, focus on growing your business and hire somebody and that make a long-term investment and hire somebody out that's not gonna leave unless you fire them. Like, just have somebody that's coming in and maybe they're recording you, so you can actually focus on other things that like running a business takes a lot of work. That's why you have people that have social media management businesses, because that takes a lot of work too. So just focus on other aspects of your business and hire somebody to come in and start posting on social media. And so you have all that progress that let's say you've been posting on your account for 6 months. You have all that progress. and now let's say you get super busy, like, oh, I haven't had the time for a month to post on social media. Now all that work that you put in, it goes to waste because, like we said, it rewards that consistency, you know?
Yeah, that is a lot of work. You know what else is a lot of work?
Mm.
A new relationship. I believe that you are newly engaged.
Well, yeah, well, March 11th of this year, and then our wedding is this year, October 4th.
How
This
do you
year
how
comes
do you
the wedding.
balance it? Yeah, I'll be there, but how do you balance it?
Well, dude, I mean, she's done a lot of the wedding planning and stuff, so it makes it easy. And then we just got an apartment, but we're not living together until we're married. But she found that, and like I think that's like a big thing for me that I'm trying to work on right now is just like as a business owner, like you don't have somebody that's holding like you don't have somebody that's coming in and they're saying, you know, you're gonna get fired if you don't come into work today.
Mm.
So I think for me, a big thing is
Discipline.
discipline. Yeah, going to bed at the same time, waking up, structuring my day, and then obviously when I'm married, I don't want to be working 7 days a week and 12 hours a day all the time, not have any time for my wife, family. So structuring my day, maybe it's waking up a little bit earlier, and um, but I think you know if you have structure, then you can
Yeah.
handle more.
Can you go into a little bit about your partner and what she thinks about your business in general? Like, what does she think that you do all day? Because a lot of people like that would that talk to me, not necessarily my partner, but people that I talk to all day, they just think I run around with the camera all day and I just don't do
Yeah.
anything, you know?
Well, it's funny because well, actually, not really her. She understands what I do
Yeah, because they see you
more.
working all
Yeah,
the time.
but like other people, they'll be like, "You're like, what do you're on your phone all day long."
Literally,
I'm
like,
like,
don't check my screen time.
"Yeah, you're on your phone all day long." I'm like, this is literally like this is my job. I'm on my
It's
phone.
your office.
I mean, I edit a lot of this stuff on there, you know. So it probably a lot of times doesn't really look like I'm working, but if I'm on my phone, I'm working. But she's been supportive, and which is kind of cool actually, like because she was with me since I was kind of just starting with Andor,
Mhm.
and then from the transition too. So like she was with me where like I wasn't making a ton of money at all. So I think that's kind of cool, like how she's kind of been there. And I'm not making like millions of dollars or a ton of money now, but like she's been with me
You
since
can afford to pay the dates now instead of her.
yeah,
Yeah,
dude. I mean, well, she was in school when we first started dating, but like, I mean, when I first started out, like I had to ask, I had to ask my parents for money because I was negative in my bank account. Like that's how broke I was, and it's just kind of cool that she wasn't because I think there's probably a lot of girls out there that'll be with somebody just for the money, and she was
100%.
never
And how old are you at this point?
when that was happening.
Yeah,
Probably 22,
22.
but so that wasn't we started dating when I was 24.
Mm-hmm.
So,
24 years old.
but I wasn't making like anything at that point either.
Yeah, you said you were like 20K a year, whatever you were saying before.
Before tax.
Before taxes, yeah, before you were balling. Um, yeah, I mean that transition for couples is, especially if you're going to start social media, it takes that few months of actually getting your first client and all,
Hmm.
and finding a partner that's willing to wait for you to do that is a very rare thing, and it's a good thing that you found her and that she's willing to wait and be there for you. That's pretty cool.
But that's the other stressful thing about it too is like you have to, not that it's like, oh, I want to make more and more money, but like you want to have a certain amount of clients so you have like some type of stability. Like if a client falls off, that's not all of your
Yeah.
income. So like I think that's why like as a business owner, there's a little bit more stress because you're not getting paid a consistent check. You need to keep your clients you have, you need to be getting more. So let's say, you don't want a client to fall off, but if they do, it's not like you can't pay your rent or your
Yeah.
mortgage.
Wait, your fiance, she's from Cleveland originally or no?
She lives in
Northeast Ohio,
Warren,
Warren.
like
Is
an hour
there, let's say, let me ask you about Cleveland, Ohio more specifically. Is there a good date spot that you guys like to frequent?
in Cleveland.
Yeah. Where do you guys like to go?
I mean, like out to eat or just date spot.
Just date spot. Any places that you really enjoy taking each other?
I mean, that's the thing. Like we don't like go on that many like actual like dates to get. I feel like we're always doing something. Like family party, or like we went to the Italian festival last weekend with her family, hung out with her grandparents after, and so like I feel like we're always doing something.
Yeah. Well, what do you like to do when you're not running your business?
I mean, I'm pretty involved at church, like different groups I do a lot during the week. Friday night, Tuesday night. We just went to the pantry last weekend on Saturday. Food pantry, we do that once a month. Um, Hanging out with my family, hanging out with her, watching a movie. I actually just enjoy just being at home, just watching a
So,
movie or
homebody,
something.
if you weren't running this business, what would you be doing? You can't
Hmm.
say real estate. That's too easy. Everybody makes money in real estate.
No, I probably, if I wasn't running the business, if everything failed, or um, I don't really know. I feel like I would do something in the church, like become like a pastor or something.
You think you have that public speaker in you?
Maybe not being like a whole pastor of a church, like something like the adult, like the men's ministry or something like
Easily.
that. Or even like, honestly, I feel like a big passion of mine has been like for men that have struggles,
Men's mentorship.
men's mentorship, or almost like a retreat center for men. So like maybe getting donations or something like that, and just doing ministry that way.
Yeah. What do you, let's say someone is struggling with whatever, it doesn't have to be anything specific. What do you recommend that guy does?
I think having like a spiritual mentor. Like I have a guy he's 35. I do a Bible study with him once a week. He has kids. He's got 5 kids, 2 adopted. And I just talk to him about a lot of stuff, like, marriage stuff with him, and different things that men struggle with. Like, and then my uncle too he has been in recovery. He's been sober for like 20 years now. So,
So
um,
you'd recommend find mentorship.
just find a mentor, find somebody that can guide you.
I think that's very important. Business mentor, spiritual mentor,
Yep.
whatever you're looking to excel at in life, the easiest way to do it is go to somebody that's already been through it and learned all those hard lessons before
Mhm.
you need to go and learn them.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's almost all of it. I think if you could just leave us with something positive for the world, if the world is watching, what do you have to say to them?
I think that for me, I've kind of gotten to the point where like this stuff, business and all that, like it does matter, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, all of this stuff, the business, this room, our house, a lot of people would spend a lot of time striving for things that fade away. And I think I'm at the point now where like this is fun for me, the business side of it. I mean, for me, it's fun, but I think at the end of the day, like I want to spend my time on earth doing things that matter. And I think these things do matter, but it's all going to fade away. I can't take the business with me. I can't take my Roth IRA, my retirement with me to heaven. So I just want to make sure that I'm spending my time doing what God put me on this earth to do. And I think ultimately, He wants us to work hard. He wants us to do all those things. But I think ultimately, He wants us to just love other people. And if I do all these things and just live for myself, and don't actually do what God put me on this earth to do, all this stuff is just going to fade away. At the end of the day, it's not eternal. So I think having that perspective kind of makes me just think about still caring for people, and you see somebody struggling and not thinking, oh, I have all these things going on, spending that time to talk to that person and to ask them how they're doing, or to meet with them, get coffee with them, tell them about Jesus, what he's done in my life. And so I think that stuff matters more than trying to make as much money as I can.